The Galactic Council Station orbited the dead zone where Earth once stood. Ambassador Zex floated near the viewing deck, his tentacles twitching with boredom. For 500 years, this empty space had been a reminder of the galaxy's greatest mystery, the day Earth and all humans simply vanished. Captain Sarah Chun stood on the bridge of the UE Phoenix, watching the familiar stars appear through the dimensional rift. Her hands gripped the command chair as reality twisted around them. "All ships, prepare for re-entry," she commanded. Behind her, thousands of human vessels emerged from the void. The station's alarm screamed. Zex pressed against the glass, his three eyes widening. Ships massive, impossible ships materialized where Earth should be. Then came the planet itself, sliding back into existence like it had never left. "Impossible," whispered Counselor Zircon, his scales turning pale. "The humans, they're back." Sarah opened a channel to the station. "Galactic Council, this is Captain Shun of United Earth. We have returned. Please respond." A galaxy had moved on without humanity. New empires rose. The Zarkonian Empire now controlled most of the Orion Arm. They had built monuments on the moon, claiming humanity's abandoned colonies. But humans hadn't been idle in their absence. Dr. Jung-Hoon Kim reviewed the data on his screen. "Captain, temporal readings confirm 500 years have passed here. But for us, it's been 5,000 years in the pocket dimension." Sarah nodded. During their time away, humanity had evolved, learned, and prepared. They had fled when the Dark Swarm approached Earth, an ancient force that consumed entire civilizations. Unable to fight it then, humanity's greatest minds had enacted Project Exodus, shifting Earth and all human colonies into a pocket dimension. "Sir, the Zarkonian fleet is approaching," reported Lieutenant Min-Jun Park. 300 warships. Sarah smiled. "Let them come. It's time the galaxy met the new humanity." The Zarkonian Commander Varzin sent a message. "Unknown vessels, you claim to be human, but humanity is extinct. Surrender or be destroyed." Sarah stood, her enhanced neural implants glowing softly. "Commander Varzin, we are humanity. We left to survive. We return to thrive. This is your only warning. Leave our space." Varzin laughed, a harsh sound over the comms. "Your space? We claimed these territories centuries ago. Fire all weapons." The Zarkonian fleet unleashed their plasma cannons. The beams struck the human ships, and nothing happened. The energy was absorbed, converted, stored. "Return fire," Sarah ordered calmly. A single beam shot from the Phoenix. It split into 300 precise strikes. In seconds, every Zarkonian weapon system was disabled, their engines frozen, their shields collapsed. Not a single life was lost, but every ship was helpless. Back on the station, Ambassador Zex trembled. These weren't the humans he had read about in history files. These humans had technology beyond anything in Council space. Another human ship approached the station. Its captain introduced herself as Su Yan Li. "Ambassador Zex, we request permission to dock. We have much to discuss." Zex authorized the docking. Within minutes, Captain Li stood before the Council, her presence commanding despite her small stature compared to some species. She carried a small device that projected holographic images. "Distinguished members, during our absence, we encountered the Dark Swarm. We didn't run. We prepared. We studied them, fought them, and finally defeated them." The holograms showed massive battles in dimensions beyond normal space. "The swarm is gone. Humanity made sure of that." Counselor Zircon stood. You defeated the Dark Swarm? The force that has destroyed 12 galactic civilizations?" "Yes," Yan replied simply. "And now we've returned to our rightful place. We don't seek conquest, but we will reclaim what was ours. Earth, Luna, Mars, and all human colonies. Those who built upon our worlds can relocate peacefully or remain as guests. But make no mistake, humanity has come home. The galaxy would soon learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their numbers. It was their determination to protect, to survive, and to ensure that no threat would ever force them to flee again. Earth hung in space once more, blue and beautiful, surrounded by a fleet that had spent 5,000 years preparing for this moment. Humanity was back. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from 43 species gathered in the Great Hall, their voices creating a chaos of sounds. The return of humanity had shaken the established order. Admiral Zheng Wei stood before Earth's newly materialized defense grid, watching as alien ships retreated from the Sol system. His daughter, Commander Lisa Zhang, reported from the Mars station. Admiral, the Zarkonian colonists on Mars are requesting evacuation assistance. Granted, Zhang replied. We're not conquerors. Provide them safe passage and supplies for their journey. This response surprised the Zarkonian refugees. They had expected vengeance, not kindness. Their leader, Sub-Commander Curvin, sent a message of gratitude. Why do you help us? We took your worlds. Lisa responded personally. You took empty worlds. We chose to leave. There's a difference. Besides, we learned something in our exile. The universe has enough enemies without creating more. Meanwhile, on the council station, Ambassador Zex studied the human delegation. 5 representatives sat calmly, while dozens of species argued about humanity's return. The Korathi Empire demanded the humans be expelled. The Tellurian Confederation wanted to study their technology. The Void Hunters simply wanted to fight them. Captain Xiao Yian Li raised her hand, and surprisingly, the room fell silent. May I speak? She stood, activating a holographic display. While we were gone, you faced threats. Pirates, Akron invasions, resource wars. We monitored you from our dimension. We could have returned at any time, but we waited. Waited for what? Demanded Counselor Trilkan of the Korathi. For you to be ready. Xiao Yan replied. The Dark Swarm was just the beginning. We discovered something in the void between dimensions. A force that makes the swarm look primitive. They're called the Devourers, and they're coming. The room erupted. Some called her a liar. Others demanded proof. Xiao Yan calmly displayed sensor data, images of massive entities consuming entire galaxies in distant dimensions. We have approximately 50 Earth years before they reach this galaxy, she continued. Humanity spent 5,000 years preparing to fight them. We developed weapons, shields, and dimensional technology. But we can't do it alone. Back in Earth orbit, a massive structure began to materialize. Dr. Yung-Hoon Kim supervised the emergence of Haven Station, city-sized platform designed to house millions of refugees from any species. His assistant, Robert Chun, gasped. Doctor, this station, it could hold entire civilizations. That's the point, Yung-Hoon replied. We learned something in exile survival isn't about the strongest or the smartest. It's about cooperation. This station is our gift to the galaxy. The Void Hunters, a warrior species that lived for combat, sent their champion, Roctor, to challenge humanity's strongest warrior. It was their way of measuring a species' worth. Lieutenant Min-Jun Park accepted the challenge. The arena on the council station filled with spectators. Roctor stood 3 meters tall, covered in natural armor plating. Min-Jun looked tiny in comparison. The fight began. Roctor charged with incredible speed. Min-Jun didn't move until the last second, then simply stepped aside, using Roctor's momentum to send him flying. For 10 minutes, Min-Jun never threw a punch, never attacked, just redirected and evaded. Finally, Rocktar collapsed from exhaustion. Min-Jun helped him stand. "You're an incredible warrior," Min-Jun said. "But we learned that the greatest victory is winning without destroying your opponent. Would you like to learn?" Rocktar, who had never been defeated, and more importantly, never been shown mercy in defeat, knelt. "Teach me, human." Word spread quickly. Humanity had returned not as conquerors, but as teachers, protectors, and builders. They shared medical technology with the Salveri plague victims. They provided agricultural advances to famine-struck worlds. They asked for nothing in return except cooperation against the coming threat. But not everyone was pleased. The Zarkonian Empire's high command plotted in secret. Commander Varzin, humiliated by his defeat, convinced the Emperor to authorize Project Extinction, a weapon designed to destroy. Earth permanently. Sarah Chun received the intelligence from an unexpected source, Curvin, the evacuated sub-commander. "Captain, my people plan something terrible. I cannot stand by while those who showed us mercy are betrayed." Sarah studied the data. A quantum bomb capable of erasing matter from existence, aimed at Earth. She turned to her crew. "Prepare the fleet. It seems we need to show the galaxy that human mercy has limits." The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine whether humanity's return would herald a new age of cooperation, or plunge the galaxy into its darkest war. Asterisk. The quantum bomb traveled through hyperspace, cloaked and undetectable by conventional sensors. Commander Varzin watched from his flagship, satisfaction gleaming in his 4 eyes. In 6 hours, Earth would cease to exist permanently this time. But humanity had evolved beyond conventional detection. Deep in Earth's core, the quantum defense network activated. Dr. Jung-Hoon Kim observed the readings from his laboratory. "Sarah, we have a problem. Quantum weapon inbound." Sarah Chun stood on the Phoenix's bridge, her expression calm despite the threat. "Can we stop it?" "Not stop," Jung-Hoon replied. "But redirect?" "Yes." The bomb emerged from hyperspace, accelerating toward Earth. At the last moment, humanity's dimensional technology activated. The bomb passed through Earth as if it wasn't there, the planet shifting slightly out of phase with reality. The weapon continued into the sun, where it detonated harmlessly. "All ships," Sarah commanded, "surround the Zarkonian fleet. No one fires unless I give the order." 3,000 human vessels materialized around Varzin's fleet. The commander's scales turned white with fear. He had sent 500 ships. Humanity had responded with thousands. "Commander Varzin," Sarah's voice echoed across all channels, "you just attempted genocide. By galactic law, we have the right to obliterate your entire fleet. But we won't." On the council station, emergency sessions erupted. The attempted destruction of Earth was witnessed by everyone. Ambassador Zex trembled as he watched the human fleet hold position, weapons powered but unfired. Counselor Zircon stood. "The Zarkonians have violated every treaty." "Humanity has the right." "We know our rights," interrupted Seo Yan Li. "But rights and righteousness are different things." Meanwhile, Sub-Commander Curvin led a group of Zarkonian rebels to the human haven station. "We seek asylum," he declared. "Not all Zarkonians support the Empire's madness." Lieutenant Min-Jun Park personally welcomed them. "You risked everything to warn us. Haven Station is open to all who choose peace." Back at the standoff, Varzin grew desperate. "Fire everything. Break through their lines." The Zarkonian weapons blazed. Humanity's ships absorbed the energy, their advanced shields converting the attacks into power. Then, with surgical precision, human vessels disabled every Zarkonian weapon and engine without killing a single soul. Sarah opened a private channel to Varzin. "Commander, you have 2 choices. surrender and face trial for attempted genocide, or we release your location to the Void Hunters. They've been wanting to test themselves against someone who attacks from hiding. The mention of the Void Hunters made Varzen shake. Since humanity's warrior had defeated their champion, the Void Hunters had declared humans honor brothers. To attack humanity was to attack them. "I surrender," Varzen whispered. But the real surprise came from the Zarkonian homeworld. Emperor Zarkon himself sent a message. "Humanity, I disavow Commander Varzin's actions. He acted without authority. It was a lie, and everyone knew it. But Sarah chose diplomacy. Emperor, we accept your statement. However, trust must be rebuilt. We propose in exchange programmed human teachers to your worlds, Zarkonian students to ours." Dr. Jung-Hoon Kim had been busy during the crisis. He revealed humanity's next gift, the Genesis Protocol. "We can restore dead worlds," he announced to the Council. "Planets destroyed by war, consumed by the Dark Swarm, poisoned by industry. We can bring them back." The galaxy gasped. The Tellurians had 3 dead worlds. The Salveri's homeworld was a toxic wasteland. Even the militant Karathi had planets they'd destroyed in civil wars. "The price?" asked Counselor Trilkin suspiciously. "No price," Jung-Hoon replied. "But there are conditions. The restored worlds become neutral zones. No military bases, no weapons. They become gardens for all species to share." Rakhtar, the defeated Void Hunter champion, had spent weeks training with Minjun. He now stood before his people's war council. The humans fight without fighting. They win without destroying. We must learn from them. The Void Hunter matriarch, ancient and wise, agreed. For the first time in our history, we found warriors worthy of alliance, not conquest. As the crisis passed, a new concern emerged. Deep space sensors detected something at the galaxy's edge scouts. The Devourers had sent their first probes, arriving decades earlier than predicted. Sarah gathered her command staff. "We need to accelerate integration. The galaxy must unite now." Sido Yun addressed the council with urgency. "The enemy has found us sooner than expected. Alone, no species survives what's coming. Together, with human technology and galactic diversity, we might have a chance." The betrayal had become a catalyst. The Zarkonian attack had shown the galaxy humanity's restraint and power. Now, with the Devourers approaching, old enemies had to become allies. Asterisk, the first Devourer probe entered the galaxy near the Tellurian border. Within hours, 3 star systems went dark. No distress signals, no debris, just empty space where billions once lived. Captain Sarah Chun stood in the unified command center, representatives from every major species beside her. The differences that once divided them seemed petty now. "Analysis complete," she announced. The probe consumed all matter and energy, converting it to fuel for the main fleet. Emperor Zarkon himself attended via hologram, his pride subdued by necessity. "How many probes?" 12 detected so far," replied Dr. Jung-Hoon Kim. "The main fleet remains 40 years out, but these probes, they're testing our defenses." The Void Hunter matriarch spoke, her ancient voice carrying weight. "Then we test them back. Rakhtar will lead our warriors." "With respect, matriarch," interrupted Minjun Park, now promoted to colonel. "Direct assault won't work. We need coordinated strikes." For the first time in galactic history, a joint military force was formed. Human technology, Void Hunter warriors, Tellurian scientists, Zarkonian fleet numbers, and dozens of other species' unique advantages combined. Commander Lisa Zhang led the first mixed crew aboard the newly constructed vessel, Unity, a ship built with humanity's dimensional technology, but enhanced by every species' contributions. Her bridge crew included Corvin, the Zarkonian rebel, now serving as tactical officer. "Probe detected in Sector 7, Corvin reported. It's heading for the Salveri colony." All ships, implement pattern Delta, Lisa commanded. The fleet moved as one, human and alien vessels in perfect coordination. The probe was massive, the size of a moon, with tendrils of energy reaching out to consume everything. Traditional weapons passed through it harmlessly. But humanity had learned its weakness in their dimensional exile. Phase shift on my mark, Lisa ordered. Mark. The fleet shifted partially out of normal space, matching the probe's dimensional frequency. Suddenly, their weapons could hit it. The combined firepower of 40 species struck simultaneously. The probe shrieked a sound that transcended dimensions and imploded. Asterisk back on Earth? Ezio Yang Li supervised the construction of the Aegis. Network a galaxy-spanning defense grid, combining human dimensional technology with each species' strengths. The Tellurians contributed their quantum computers. The Salviri provided biological processors that could adapt in real time. Even the Korathi, once humanity's fiercest critics, offered their energy manipulation technology. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. The youngest human scientist, 16-year-old Ami Chun, discovered something in the probe's remains. It's not just consuming, she told the assembled scientists. It's searching for something specific. Jung Hoon examined her data. You're right. These aren't random attacks. They're looking for something our galaxy has. Ambassador Zex, who had become humanity's strongest advocate, made a connection. The ancient archives speak of the origin crystal, a theoretical object that could reshape reality itself. Most considered it myth. Not myth, Sarah said quietly. We found fragments of it in the dimensional void. That's how we developed our technology. The room fell silent. Humanity possessed what the Devourers sought. Asterisk. Then we're bait, stated Emperor Zarkon. No, Sarah corrected. We're the trap. The plan was audacious. Use the origin crystal fragments to lure the Devourer fleet into a dimensional pocket, then collapse it, trapping them forever. But it required absolute unity, every species contributing, no holding back. Sub-Commander Corvan, now spokesperson for the Zarkonian rebels, addressed his people. We once tried to destroy humanity out of fear. They responded with mercy. Now they offer us a chance to save our galaxy. Will we stand with them? The response was unanimous. Even Varzin, imprisoned for his attempted genocide, offered his strategic knowledge. Training camps opened on every world. Humans taught dimensional combat. Void hunters instructed in warrior discipline. Tellurians shared scientific methods. The galaxy was transforming, unified by necessity, but bound by growing respect. Colonel Minjun Park and Rokhtar developed a new fighting style, combining human efficiency with void hunter strength. Their demonstration before the council left spectators in awe. Former enemies now fought as one. 3 more probes arrived. Each time, the unified fleet responded faster, more efficiently. The Devourers were learning about the galaxy's defenses, but the galaxy was learning about them too. 39 years until the main fleet, Jung-hoon announced. We need to accelerate the Aegis network construction. Every species contributed resources. Mining operations tripled. Research facilities worked continuously. The genesis of true galactic unity was born not from conquest or diplomacy, but from shared survival. The alliance was tested, but holding. The real battle was yet to come. 39 years passed in unprecedented cooperation. Children grew up in a galaxy where humans, Zarkonians, void hunters, and dozens of other species worked side by side. The Aegis network stretched across 10,000 star systems. Humanity's dimensional technology woven with every species' contributions. Admiral Sarah Chun, now gray-haired but still commanding, stood on the bridge of the Convergence, the galaxy's flagship. All stations report ready, announced Captain Ami Chun, the once teenage prodigy now leading the tactical division. Devourer fleet has entered the galaxy, reported Curvan, promoted to fleet commander. Numbers are ... significant. The view screen showed the truth millions of ships, each one capable of consuming entire solar systems. At the fleet's center, a vessel the size of Jupiter pulsed with malevolent energy. "That's their harvester," explained Dr. Yong-Hoon Kim, his voice transmitted from Earth's command center. "It can consume entire sectors simultaneously." Emperor Zarkon, now an elder statesman, commanded his people's fleet personally. "Humanity showed us mercy when we deserved none. Today, we repay that debt." The plan was simple in concept, staggering in execution. Lure the Devourer fleet to the galaxy's center, where humanity had hidden the origin crystal fragments. Once there, activate the dimensional trap. But someone had to stay behind to trigger it manually. A one-way trip. "I'll do it," volunteered Colonel Minjung Park immediately. "No," interrupted Rokhtar, the Void Hunter champion. "This honor should be—" "Stop," Sarah commanded. "We're not sacrificing anyone. We found another way." The solution came from the most unexpected collaboration. The Salviri's biological processors, merged with human AI and Tellurian quantum computing, had created something new, a consciousness that could exist across dimensions. "Meet Unity," announced Seo Yan Lee. The AI's voice resonated through every ship. "I am all of you and none of you. I can trigger the trap from inside while existing outside." The Devourers attacked in waves. The outer defense lines held initially, but the sheer numbers were overwhelming. System after system fell back, drawing the enemy deeper into the galaxy. "Phase 1 complete," reported Lisa Jiang from her sector. "They're taking the bait." The Devourer harvester moved toward the galactic center, sensing the origin crystal's power. Around it, millions of ships consumed everything in their path. But they didn't notice the subtle dimensional shifts occurring around them. "All civilians evacuated to Haven stations," confirmed Ambassador Zex. Coordinating the largest refugee movement in galactic history. Then came the moment of truth. The harvester reached the trap zone. Sarah gave the order. "Unity, initiate convergence protocol." Reality warped. The dimensional walls humanity had carefully constructed over 4 decades activated simultaneously. The Devourer fleet found itself being pulled into a pocket dimension, but they fought back. "They're resisting," warned Jung-Hoon. "The harvester is trying to consume the dimensional walls themselves." This was the scenario they'd feared. If the harvester broke free, it would be unstoppable. But humanity had one last card to play. "All species, implement your gifts," Sarah commanded. The Void Hunters channeled their warrior spirit into pure energy, strengthening the trap. The Tellurians used their quantum computers to calculate and seal dimensional fractures in real time. The Zarkonians poured their massive fleet's power into the containment field. Every species contributed their unique strength. "Together," roared Emperor Zarkon. "Together," echoed the matriarch. "Together," shouted every voice in the unified fleet. The origin crystal fragments activated, not as weapons, but as anchors. They held reality in place while the pocket dimension sealed around the Devourers. The harvester shrieked across dimensions, its death cry shaking the fabric of space-time itself. Then silence. "Status?" Sarah asked, hardly daring to hope. "Dimensional pocket sealed," Unity reported. "Devourer fleet contained. They're trapped in a universe with no matter or energy to consume. They'll starve within a century." The galaxy had won, but the victory belonged to no single species. It belonged to all of them. In the aftermath, as the unified fleet returned to their worlds, a new age began. The Galactic Council was reformed as the United Systems, with humanity not as leaders, but as equals among equals. Sarah Chon retired to Earth, now a garden world shared by all species. Children of a dozen races played in its parks. Former enemies worked side by side in its cities. Was it worth it? Asked Co Yeon, visiting her old friend. 500 years of exile? Sarah watched a young Zarkonian and human child playing together, laughing. We left as one species running from destruction. We returned as teachers, protectors, and bridge builders. Yes, it was worth it. Humanity had returned not to conquer, but to unite. The galaxy was stronger for it. The end asterisk